Okay, no.
This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Our fill-in traffic reporter just got to see the real behind the scenes. The Bulldog goes bonkers. There is nothing worse when the production of the radio show is like the Bengals. This is like Bengaldom this morning. You know what I'm talking about? Bengals are producing our show. I'm going to calm down and tell you what I'm talking about, folks. Now, here's the deal. Jake is not here today. Where is he? Oh, I don't know. I knew he was going to be off, right? So, the password that is necessary to run the computers out here, I guess Jake is the only one that knows. So, does Jake tell anybody, or does anybody ask Jake? No. So, the laptop for the traffic, not up. The laptop for the video camera and the simulcast, not up. And it makes me want to go bonkers. Anyway, speaking about our traffic reports, if you would like to be our traffic reporter, email me at eric@ericdeters.com. And all I can tell you is this. I'm shocked more people have not volunteered. And I think the reason being is you think it's complicated. It's not. All you do is you read the traffic reports from the laptop online. It's really that. Oh, look at this. Sarah Jones is on the ball. It's better idea is the password.
I knew this password.
Well, we got to find the other password, Sarah. Thank you, though. At least Sarah's listening and thinking. But anyway, you just read it from a laptop, so it's not that freaking difficult. And my wife said that everybody that does traffic has to have a willy whacker, and I said, nobody with a willy whacker is volunteering. So if you're a man, I guess men just aren't into traffic unless you're Chuck Eagram. I mean, there's something about Chuck. Let me tell you something else. By the way, we got a great upbeat show today. I don't want to, get off to this, get off like this and you think this is going to be a ranting show. It's really not. It's going to be, oh, here we go. It's under the Wi-Fi that starts with a J. Hope that helps. That's what Sarah said. It's under the Wi-Fi that starts with a J. Hope that helps. But let me tell you something else, okay? And I'm going to put a note on the door of this studio. The next WDJO employee that messes with our posters, and I am totally serious. I might be a lawyer, but I am totally, totally serious. Well, wait a minute. I'm a lawyer. I can't. Garrett is going to beat their ass. I swear to God, if I said it was me, they'd file bargain with me. But anyway, if you'd like to do our traffic report now, tomorrow, well, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the person we have today. Today, we have the Honorable Judy Schlottman, the hoity-toity Hyde Park Realtor, and I got a surprise for you, is the traffic gal of the day. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning.
And of course, she did participate in our marathon, so we appreciate your support on ClassX Radio. Tomorrow we have Cheryl Jones, Sarah Jones's mom, and on the way here, Sarah and Cheryl and Tim, oh my God, did I come up with a brilliant idea for the music for tomorrow. It's going to be a riot. And then on Wednesday, we have a Polish girl, Tina Morawski. Now, I think that's her maiden name, so I don't think Tina's really Polish. But Tina Morawski will be here on Wednesday. And I'm thinking that maybe we'll have Sarah do Friday. So we're looking for somebody to do traffic on Thursday, and you can be a guy. It is totally okay. Or you could be a female, but I don't think any men want to do this. Let me see. Let's go through some things. First, go to a Northern Kentucky Kroger or CVS pharmacy and pick up the Northern Kentucky Live magazine. It's the new magazine by ClassX Radio. And it is an outstanding issue, the inaugural issue. Not just because I am on the cover with Bill Spry, but it's because of the content of it, the stories in it. Heck, even the ads are impressive. So pick that up, and also there's a Facebook page if you'd like to have that kind of thing. When we come back, I've got lots more life observations, and commentary about all the events of the weekend and everything today. Today is filled with news. Not going to have a problem today with news. I just got a problem with producers. I'm happy-go-lucky, but it has to be done correctly. Right, Bulldog Nation? That's what we expect? Excellence? Or what do we call it? Superbity. Well, at least I got a great song lined up for you. This is The King switching the glide on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Well, we convened a radio court at the break, and based upon the evidence that was presented in the radio court, and by the power vested in me as Judge Bulldog, Jake is hereby found guilty of high crimes and misdemeanors, the Bulldog Nation. And Garrett is acquitted. Garrett, who's obviously older, see the difference? 24 versus 21. Garrett obviously requested the passwords last night. So Judy, are you ready for your first traffic report?
I am.
Well, you got to speak up.
Judy.
Okay.
Go.
Southbound I-75 is closed after 36 Franklin Street in northern Warren County after a semi and sweeper truck overturned on the roadway.
Oh my.
Hempling Road slide repair project on Kentucky 3072 will resume Monday.
Ah.
That's all.
No other accidents? That's a light traffic. That's good. It gets worse at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, wait till 7.
7 o'clock rolls around. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry, here's what we got. I don't know if you got to see it before the Bengals football game, but I loved watching the U.S. Army All-Star game, high school game. And how would you like to have the name Quick and be a D1 receiver? I'm telling you right now, that's pretty good stuff. I mean, to have the name Quick and be a D1 receiver, ho my. Well, we're going to cover the football sports later, but let's face it. You know the Bengals lost. You know Green Bay won. You know Baltimore won. And you know Seattle won. But let me see. This day in history, what do we have? The first U.S. presidential election is held, and George Washington was chosen. 1927, the Harlem Globetrotters played their first game. How you like that? I'd like to play for the Harlem Globetrotters. Is there a white Harlem Globetrotters?
No, I don't
They
think
wouldn't be
so.
the Harlem Globetrotters, would they? Wouldn't it be funny to have like an Asian Globetrotters and a Hispanic Globetrotters? You know, doing all the
And then
fancy
play
dribbling
each other.
and play each other. That'd be
It's
kinda
pretty
cool.
incredible, the stuff they do.
Oh my God. And I can tell you right now, back in the day, they were a really, really, really good team. Meadowlark Lemon and the rest of them.
Yeah.
I mean, they played some NBA teams and whatnot, beat them. They had that streak.
For a while, they would play like exhibition games
Right.
against college teams.
Right,
Like they
right.
would play like Texas and you know.
Right. President Harry Truman announced the development of a hydrogen bomb. Judy, I told you we'd be nice to you, but I got to ask you a question. Do you know the difference between the atom bomb and the hydrogen bomb?
Yes.
What's that?
They start with a different letter.
Oh, Judy
Jesus.
being witty and wise.
Oh my God. That's a good answer. If you don't know the answer, that's a good answer. I learned from Willie, if you don't know the answer, you act like you do. Because nobody knows, really. And if they do, they call, whoa, I can't believe you got that wrong, Bulldog. Monica Lewinsky signed an affidavit
Well, hold on, what's the difference?
denying the affair. A atom is split or a hydrogen atom is split.
Does it make a different explosion?
Bigger explosion.
With an A-bomb or the hydrogen?
Hydrogen blowing up is more powerful than a regular old atom blowing up.
That means you don't know.
Yeah, he has no.
Baloney! You Wikipedia that sucker! Monica Lewinsky, though, denied having an affair. I told her to do that, Bulldog. I said, will you sign this affidavit? And she said, sure, I'll sign. Listen, you give me another cigar, I'll sign anything for you, Bubba. I said, thank you, Monica. Thank you so much. Don't you like that name, Monica? Kind of rings bell.
Mom.
Monica. Hey, Monica. But you know what, Garrett, I will never. My God, they took Bill too! I will never understand why she kept that blue dress. I wonder if there's people out there that like are engaged in such activities and they worry about what they leave behind in light of the blue dress. Like, do people keep blue jeans? I'm just saying. Birthdays today. Nicolas Cage is 49. I like him. He's like Mr. Elvis. He loves Elvis.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie. I like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
He had some financial problems too.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. Guess who else's birthday today? Senator Rand Paul, a senator that voted against the tax bill. And by the way, folks, there was a report that his son in North Carolina got arrested for disorderly conduct and underage drinking. And they asked for privacy. All I got to say about that is this. Even if you're a freaking senator, your young kids and teenagers can do stupid stuff and stuff that you and I did too. He didn't get busted with 1,000 pounds of heroin. DUI, disorderly conduct, underage drinking. Whoopee freaking wee. You got my support, Rand. Bulldog Nation's loyal. We're not jackwagons like some disloyal people.
Jake,
you're fired, by the way. You may not get unfired. Katie Couric is 56. I think she's the most overrated person. And guess what? I'm going to go ahead and make all the other anchors in town mad. I'm going to do it. Because I like them all. I do. I got friends. All these anchors, I'm friends. I don't have friends with all of them. I'm friends with most of the anchors. I watched Curtis Fuller last night do the 11 o'clock show. I was jogging on the treadmill. And I texted him this. I can prove it. I think Curtis Fuller with presence and voice and appearance is, when I say presence, is over his aura, is the best anchor in Tri-State. His voice, his delivery, it's strong.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. Curtis Fuller, baby.
I do like Curtis Fuller. Who is he, 5?
Mm-hmm. And we even have different politics. He's a big Obama guy.
Sure.
But I don't hold that against him. He probably doesn't hold against me that I got no hair. David Caruso. And now he's another ugly guy. Now he's an ugly guy. How did David Caruso get famous?
This.
Oh, God. And then he comes back. He tries to have a movie career. Wait. Yes. Kenny Loggins is 65.
That was just a montage of Caruso. Every time he puts his glasses on, right, like before the... You ought to see Jim Carrey does an awesome impression of him.
Yeah, he'd be good taking his glasses on and off.
Yeah.
And guess what? Millard Fillmore, a president. And do you know Fillmore? Judy, did you know who he married? He married his teacher. Mm-hmm. He married his teacher. Nobody made a big deal about that one. You know, this is funny because Sarah Jones's mom was supposed to be here to do the day, but hey, Cheryl, if you're listening, I'm not going to jackwagon you to check to see if you're listening. And I also want you to know I've got special music for you. Until then, this is Survivor, Eye of the Tiger, which was my theme song until I found Bulldog, Hey Bulldog by the Beatles. Willie gave me this theme song to compete with TNT, AC/DC, Joe Deters, on ClassX Radio. ClassXradio.com. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. We had to send the traffic reporter on a mission from God, like the Blues Brothers. I have a fax and I have the facts. Jake. You talk about somebody that's on the short list. I'll make his whole family mad when I fire him. Cincinnati area today, partly cloudy, high of 36. Tuesday, partly cloudy, high of 44. Wednesday, partly cloudy, high of 49. What else do we have here? 23% of all photocopier faults worldwide are caused by people sitting on them and photocopying their butts. What? Jeez, oh Pete. Andrew Jackson He despised Henry Clay so much he had the Treasury Department building situated on Pennsylvania Avenue just east of the White House to obstruct his view of the Capitol. That's pretty good. Men get hiccups more than women. That's a shocker, isn't it? Not. There are more collect calls on Father's Day than any day of the year. That's sad. Why? Because most of them are in jail. They have square watermelons in Japan. How the hell? Well, if they got them in Japan, why wouldn't they have them here? And who would want to eat a square watermelon anyway? Proportional to their weight, men are stronger than horses. How do you like that?
Really?
That's pretty good, isn't it? I'm going to read the joke at the break. It might be worthy. I don't know. Pop culture. Texas Chainsaw 3D, 23 million. Horror movies. It's unbelievable.
I know.
Your age group goes to horror movies. Django Unchained, 20 million. Have you seen it yet?
No.
You got to see it.
Yeah.
The Hobbit, 17.5 million. Les Miserables. I wanted to go see that, but didn't have time. Jay Leno's contract with NBC has been extended beyond the 2014 deadline. And this was reported by our reporter from New York. Jay-Z and Beyonce pay $1 million per year for the suite at the Barclays Center for their daughter to have an on-site nursery. Jeez, wow, to be that filthy rich. Wow. Jimmy Kimmel said of Leno, as a comedian, you cannot have disdain for what he's done. He's totally sold out. He was a master chef who opened a Burger King. Wow. Did you see where Barbara Walters had Honey Boo Boo as one of the most interesting people of the year?
Are you kidding me?
Honey Boo Boo.
That's what's wrong with our
That's
culture.
what's wrong with
We
freaking
love
America.
Horror films and
Honey Boo Boo.
Honey Boo Boo.
I will not watch Honey
And
Boo Boo.
reality TV. We are so
Yes.
obsessed with other people's lives
Right,
that we don't take care of our own.
right.
People are morons.
Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, one of their kids hit the panic alarm. Uh-oh. Police responded not only by car, but helicopter. Oh. The kids were with their nanny. Oh, my God. You know, one of the funniest stories I've ever heard of all time. I mean, this is a class. I mean, we put this in the book. Willie called Charlie Lucan, who was the mayor at the time, at his home, right? He wasn't home. His son answered the phone. Kid's like 8 years old.
On the air?
On the air. Charlie and his wife are driving and listening. Wherever they're going, like on a Friday night, they're driving and they're listening, and they're like, oh my God. And Willie starts asking the kid, does your dad beat you?
Oh, no.
Oh my God, this story is hilarious.
Oh, my God.
You got to be careful what happens when you go home.
Pissed?
No, he laughed.
Oh,
He's
my
he's
God.
got a sense of humor, man. Good old Charlie.
Good.
You know, he's going to have a suite. Charlie's going to have his own suite. He's going to run the casino. They're going to call it Charlie's Loft.
Yeah.
Willie
Well,
sang
he's been
you
there
and me.
all the
By
time.
the way, Willie gives you his regards. He said that he saw that you made Keith Sweater's blog.
Oh, yeah.
He said you must be doing something right. I said, well, he's my right-hand man.
Right.
Jake's the one's getting fired, not Gary.
Jake's out. I'm in. I'm up to executive producer. I worked my way
Executive
up.
producer. That's like Chuck, you know. Call him legal commando and all these
Yeah.
things. My godfather, Larry Grouse, says Chuck ought to demand to be called executive vice president. I said, you can have any title you want.
Yeah.
Executive vice president. Josh Brolin was arrested in Santa Monica for public intoxication. Josh. There's no word that Barbara Streisand bailed him out or not. Lindsay Lohan is going to give back her $10,450 per month home. Jeez, what's Lindsay doing that anyway? The former Minnesota Viking Chandler Williams died Saturday during a flag football tournament in Florida. He was 27.
Yeah.
I participated in that tournament. I used to.
Did you really?
That's kind of spooky.
Probably another heart attack thing.
And then we did this for Jake. The NHL and the NHLPA have agreed to a framework of a 10-year labor contract. How about this Oregon coach, Chip Kelly, man? The Eagles thought he had him, and he decided to stay in Oregon. That's how bad the Eagles are. You stay in college instead of coach them.
What would you do there? You're running one of the best offenses. There's a good chance he goes to the NFL, and it doesn't work.
I know, but let me tell you something right now. It depends. If you are really comfortable and you're making that money and all that, you stay put. But it's just like anything. It's like Patino and Calipari had to try,
Yeah.
and they got it out of their system.
Right.
I think I'm the kind of person, there's no doubt I'd go to the NFL.
I think you're right. I would do the same thing.
Because you know what? If you screw up in the NFL, some college is going to take you.
It's not nearly the same, but my buddy's like a 7th grade football coach, and he got asked to be the 8th grade football coach. And
There
he's like
you go.
mulling it over. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, dude? At that, any time you get the chance to move up, you need to
move up.
Oh,
How about this? I'm only going to give one score, which I'm impressed with. Michigan's number 2 now, 95-67 Iowa. They haven't lost.
Yeah. They got Tim Hardaway Jr.
Gail,
Trey,
don't they have Rice the third? Glenn Rice the third?
I think so.
They got all these juniors and thirds and fourths. And
Yeah. Trey Burke is one of their best players.
in that high school All-American game, they had David Robinson's boy is a wide receiver, 6'5", going to Notre Dame.
Jeez.
USC was grabbing 11 of them kids. Notre Dame was grabbing 6.
Notre Dame, I think, has like the best recruiting class.
Yeah, and Ohio State grabbed a nice linebacker named Mike Mitchell from Texas. He picked
really?
Ohio State.
Man, they're going to be freaking good. They are going to be.
They are going to be incredible. By the way, in the bowl games, Ole Miss 38, Pittsburgh 17, and then of course tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury. And because Jake's not here, I'm sure we don't have the fight song, but I asked for it anyway. We do have it
Come on now.
because you got it.
Yes, sir.
Notre Dame versus Alabama. I'm going to go ahead and go Irish. I am a member of the Subway alumni, and I got an Alabama hat, an Alabama shirt. I mean, I do. I'm an Alabama fan. I'm a Saban fan. I like the excellence. But I want to tell you something. I got to go Irish.
You like Saban though? I mean, I know you just said you did, but
I don't know what his personality's like.
Ass.
I admire his coaching ability, but I heard he's an ass.
huge ass. I read an article yesterday about Saban. Said that the guy was just assistants not assistant coaches. This guy, it was in a story. The guy gave a little narrative of an equipment manager that was getting to the stadium the same time that Saban was, and he goes, "Morning, coach." Didn't say a word to him, just kept walking. Was later confronted by an assistant coach that said,
Yep.
"Don't talk to Saban unless he talks to you first."
I want to tell you something. There's no excuse to be an ass no matter who you are. When you and I are bigger than Rush Limbaugh and bigger than Judge Judy,
We're still going to be the people.
we're still going to be cool cats, baby.
Yeah.
By the way, got a traffic report before I go to a song?
I do. Cincinnati accident, Gray Road at Grossback. In Cincinnati again, accident on Kellogg at Wilmer and Hamilton.
I think she's the worst traffic reporter we've
I
had
think
so
she
far.
might be the best, though.
I don't think so. Too many pausing. Go ahead, continue.
Thanks. Disabled vehicle on West North Bend Road.
Disabled.
Thank God.
Fix your cars,
Thank
people.
God we got to go to a song here. Cutting Crew, Died in Your Arms. Night. She's all fired up now, isn't she? It's all right. You're just not as good as the others, that's all. ClassX rating. The next round of the playoffs is set. Baltimore at Denver, 4:30 on Saturday on CBS. Green Bay at San Francisco, 8 p.m. on Fox, and also on Saturday. I predict Denver, except, Peyton Manning's capable of having a bad game, but I expect Denver will win. Green Bay at San Francisco. I mean, Baltimore was only good at home. I predict Green Bay. San Francisco's gone in the tank. Seattle at Atlanta. I predict Seattle. I'm sorry, I think Atlanta's just soft. I do. I think they're overrated every year. Houston at New England. New England. What do you think? What are your predictions?
Yeah, New England, I think on that one, I agree. But, man, this is huge for Atlanta because they make the playoffs every year because they go great in the regular season and then they just fall flat on their face.
Yep.
I think Denver takes care of Baltimore. And what was the other one? Packers, Niners?
Yep.
That's a tough. Where is that game?
It's at San Francisco.
Oh, man. That's a tough.
Okay, now we got the camera rolling. I got to push it.
Yeah, we're on
Right.
the live. Now.
I'm showing everybody the latest issue
How
of
about
Northern
that?
Kentucky Live, the premiere issue. Bill Spry and I are on the cover. And I'm also going to show you the latest issue of a magazine, kind of hoity-toity kind of magazine, called Venue. Is Traffic Girl on the cover? No. She's featured, though, inside the magazine.
Wow.
Yes.
Holy.
Look, nice story about our traffic lady.
That's like a fancy magazine.
Yeah, real fancy magazine. I put an ad in there. I didn't get one client. These aren't my people. These are Indian Hill Hyde Parkers. But anyway, let me tell you something. See, there's her son right there, committed to success.
Where were those pictures taken?
But-
Is your house?
All part.
Alt Park.
Park.
But you didn't make the cover, Judy. When are you going to make the cover of Venue magazine?
There are 4 pages on my article. I only see one.
Okay, well, let's count that then. Oh boy, she just made a strategic. There's an old, in cross-examination, they say you got to be careful, don't ask a question you don't know the answer. I'm on the cover, right? Okie dokie, let's
You have
turn.
no idea where you're
You
at in
have
that
no
magazine.
idea. No, I looked at it on Friday. 2 pages, that's 3.
Did
You
have-
said you had 3 pages, right?
Four.
2 more pages and another picture. she's it gets better. There's a 5th page in here somewhere.
That is your radio. I mean, you are a part of that radio station. You should have.
Well, aren't you part of Venue? See, Venue's a term we use in law about location. Hey, I gotta promote something. Friday night, my friend, can you get down to Madison between 8:30 and 9:15 and then leave?
Yeah.
You and me and Sarah Jones, if she can do it.
Are we introducing a band?
We're introducing a band. Listen to this. Signs of Life, a Pink Floyd tribute band. And we've been asked to introduce the band.
Hell yeah.
You go backstage and you get autographs and stuff. And I did this for
Copious
get the
amounts
lead
of
out,
drugs.
get the lead out, and it was fun. I felt like a
Well,
rock
I'm
star,
there.
man. By the way, if you want to go to this event, Saturday, I said it was Friday. Oops, Saturday, January 12th at 8 p.m. The cost is $18. You can get the tickets on www.cincyticket.com. Cincyticket.com. Oh, by the way, I went out to lunch with my godfather yesterday.
Grouser?
Yeah, Larry Grouse. And my wife's been telling me that she wants to move. And we've decided, heck, we'll get a condo, right? Well, my godfather is going to build a house. And his condo is awesome. He says the fireworks show is like it's right in front of, the glass, fireplace. And it's kind of like my wife's kind of taste. I thought she'd be excited. Nope.
Has she been there?
I guess, yeah. So I guess we're going to stay in the country.
So she wants to stay in the house now.
I don't know.
Moving's such a pain in the ass.
Let me tell you something, though. This is me, okay? I'm kind of a farm boy, and I never thought I'd be this way. I have completely freaking changed. What I like to do and access and be close to everything, and I'd be 5 minutes from here, I would love to live in that condo in Covington. And I hate Covington, but I like this location.
Yeah.
When I say I hate Covington, I hate the taxes, I hate the government, I hate all that.
Okay, yeah. See, I mean, I would hate to live in the country.
And see, I never thought I could live in downtown Cincinnati. I could live in one Lido place. I could live in, no problem at all.
See, if I were you without the family attachment, because that's how I plan to be forever,
Well, our kids
and
are
I had
gone.
I had the money, I'd be in the one Lidl or something downtown. Not one.
Now I have to admit, I'd miss the pool. I couldn't lay out naked anymore at the swimming pool. But
Well, why not?
there's too many people around. I'm a celebrity now.
Get your speedo
I'm a
out
Z-list,
there,
and
you'll
just so
be
you all
fine.
know, think I got an ego. No, I don't. I created the term Z-list celebrity. You know what that means? That's the opposite of A-list, okay? I'm not Brad Pitt. I'm Z-list. But some of you that are listening aren't even Z-list celebrities, so just think how bad that is.
Yeah. At least you're.
Judy, you're not even a Z-list celebrity
Oh,
except in Hyde
I've
Park.
heard Judy's name before. She's a Z-lister.
He is a suck-up to every traffic girl we bring in except Denise.
Judy, let's go on a date. Would you date a young guy like myself?
She's married! She's so big.
Let her answer,
Okay,
please.
my bad. David, I apologize.
I love 25-year-olds.
Oh my God.
24. Let's get it
All right,
right.
well,
Don't short me
you're
here.
Is there a song that we can play to cool this
I
place
got
off
some
in here?
song, yeah.
Hey, this is a great song. By the way, Gary Beatrice, he became the head of the Chamber of Commerce, and my buddy, I went to law school with him, did this song for sophomore poetry at coming to Latin school, and I beat him with Casey at the bat. Ha ha ha! Gary, you're still not over it, I know. This is Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. All right, folks, if you'd like to be our traffic reporter, until we find the right one, we're going to rotate them. Tomorrow, Cheryl Jones, Sarah Jones's mom, will be in, and Tina Morawski is going to give it a little Polish flavor. Today we have a realtor. You would think that a realtor would be loud and her syntax would be good and solid and no hesitation because she has to sell real estate. By the way, I want to just plug, Judy is one of the top realtors for Sipsey Klein. Well, I'm not allowed to do that. I apologize, Bill Sprice. I hate this nonprofit radio stuff. Anyway, go ahead. Traffic, please.
Loveland, accident on Branch Hill Guinea Road between Loveland, Miamitown
That's
and
better.
Ward's Corner in Claremont.
She's coachable, folks. Good job. Very coachable.
I don't think she's done,
You're not done? Go ahead.
Judy.
I'm done.
Oh, I'm not
Right.
done.
Thank you.
Hey, there's a Brent Spence Bridge meeting to discuss the bridge at 6 p.m. tomorrow in the first floor commission chambers. Oh, by the way, the bridge is going to be on the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce agenda at their next Eggs and Issues breakfast. And I'm going to have the Bulldog Nation there in force to ask the question, who's going to own the private part of this? By the way, speaking of traffic, there's a plan to improve traffic and access to northbound I-71, including more lanes near the 275 connection, which begins today. Traffic signs will be in place to direct motorists while work is being conducted. The Boone County Sheriff's Department is no longer going to, cover keys being locked inside cars. That's so they can go out and try to find the real killers of Michelle Mockbee. I want to tell you something, folks. It is messed up that when you, your client, and your staff have all reviewed every single bit of evidence that the prosecution has, and no evidence points to your client. It's unbelievable. A new policy for absentee drivers has caused an outrage at the transportation agency called Metro. Drivers can only have 2 unexcused sick days per year, down from 12. 12 sick days! We'll get Sensible Don in here to account for that. Ohio has arrested 22-year-old Allison Moore of Coleraine and 2 16-year-olds in connection with the murder of 68-year-old Nancy Hirschman. That's just plain sad. Horseshoe Casino Job Fair. The casino will hold a job fair Tuesday, January 8th at the Cintas Center on the campus of Xavier. Oh, by the way about that, while you're at the Horseshoe Casino, just be careful, the floor's falling in on you. Just saying. Ohio's death row, the number of inmates has declined from 204 in January 2003 to the current number of 142. Down from a record 24 in 1985. Reverend Al Sharpton has launched a Cincinnati Civil Rights chapter. Are you excited, Garrett?
Yeah, I can't
I'm
wait for that to open up.
I'm gonna join. Kentucky Governor Stephen Beshear is going to deliver the State of the State address on February 6th. Who cares? Now we got to give oracle status to this mom. After hiding her 9-year-old twins during a home invasion on Friday, an unnamed 37-year-old Georgia woman shot Paul Alice Slater 5 times in the head and neck when he went into the closet they were hiding in. Ha ha ha. She shouldn't have that gun. After a 6-hour standoff on Saturday, officers returned fire to a man in a 2nd-story townhome window, killing him. This was in Aurora. He had killed 3 family members. Obama's vacation, 5 rounds of golf totaling 32 hours, 5 trips to the gym, 4 trips to dinner, 40 hours on Air Force One, $7.19 million in flight costs. We have a president who's not only a socialist, who's not only Muslim-leaning, who's not only lazy, who's not only not very bright, he's also mean. He's mean. A little smile there. That's John Boehner about the true blue Barack Obama. Hillary Clinton returns to work today. Oh, yay. Navy Commander Thomas Winter, no relation to my good friend and lawyer Bob, has been relieved of his command of the submarine USS Montpelier. All right, I will give you $100 if which one of you can tell me which president of the United States home is called Montpelier.
That would be Taft.
Adams.
Madison.
Shoot!
It was a horse ride from
I knew it was either
Monticello.
him or Taft, and I went with Taft, and I got
You were wrong. Due to a collision between his submarine and the missile cruiser during a training mission. Oops! Oops.
That sucks.
That's messed up. What else do we have here in news?
How do you know each other?
Judy and I?
Yeah.
She was a client. And then I used her as my realtor in the St. Bernard case. She did a good
used
job.
each other.
Yeah.
Huh, good for you guys.
Her case was pretty interesting.
He more than me.
Yeah.
Her. Yeah.
So, I won.
Did he win your case?
Yes.
So you're forever indebted to him?
No.
Would you kill
No,
somebody?
she didn't get that much money to be in debt for.
That's true.
God, it needed to be more money than that.
How'd you find him?
I don't know this answer. I've been there. How'd you come see me?
You had a reputation.
Ha ha!
Yeah.
The Bulldog. By the way, yesterday I met with a couple in my Cincinnati office, and this one, she was a nurse. She goes, "I told my husband, let's get the Mad Dog."
The Mad Dog.
I said, "I'll take that."
Hey,
Mad
moron,
Dog.
it's the Bulldog.
Hey, she's nice. Are you ready for this,
Idiot
folks?
listeners.
We could spend the rest of the show talking about this. New York Democratic Representative Jose Serrano, House Judiciary Resolution, called for an amendment to the Constitution to allow presidents to run for unlimited terms so Barack Obama can be reelected again. Man, it's a triple jack wagon. And I want to tell you right now, Jeb Bush, we've had enough bushes in the White House. I'm going to have a dog pee on the bushes now. Leave it alone. I'm like, that's from the Bulldog. That's pretty good.
You should be on the bus.
He's considering a run for the presidency in 2016. Ugh.
Jeb, go get him, Jeb.
Yeah, right.
That means he'd be running against you in the primary.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to whoop your ass, Jeb. You ain't got a chance in hell. How about this?
Break his legs
Yeah.
first.
House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi. She said the entire cap on the debt ceiling is unconstitutional and that Obama shouldn't be held hostage by the debt because Congress doesn't have the right to question the validity of the debt. Nancy Pelosi, God darn. By the way, I got some rants coming up in the 8 o'clock hour that you're going to love. What else do we have here? John Boehner. Now, this is good stuff. I lost the second page of this, but this I got to memorize it. John Boehner says in the middle of one of his one-on-one meetings with Barack Obama, I would have taken a tape recorder for this. In the middle of one of his meetings, Barack Obama announced to him that, and explained to him that we don't have a spending problem. We don't have a spending problem. Barack Obama doesn't think we have a spending problem.
Wow.
Now, Judy, something red popped up there. Is that something important? Is there a red alert?
Yes.
Well, read it.
Loveland.
You will never be invited back to do traffic.
Yes,
Cheryl
yes,
Jones, I hope you're
lovely
listening.
woman.
I hope you're listening, Cheryl Jones, to say how not to be the traffic girl. Go ahead.
Loveland. It's closed due to the accident on Branch Hill Guinea Road.
Jeez.
See? All you need to know. Steer clear of Loveland. Those people are hillbillies anyway. Don't want to be up there.
All right. By the way, ladies, I got a special, I'm doing this for you ladies. Because you missed it, because his birthday was Saturday and we weren't on the radio. Bradley Cooper turned 38.
Hunka burning love.
Would you
right
leave?
there.
Would you leave your husband for Brad Cooper? My wife would leave me for Brad Cooper.
No.
Oh, that's.
You don't like him?
Yeah, he's okay.
By the way, we forgot to mention this about football. Johnny Manziel, okay?
Yeah.
Mr. Heisman Trophy. Called him Mr. Football. I was kind of mad he won the Heisman. I didn't realize that they're the team that beat Alabama. Well, guess what? 229 yards rushing on 17 carries. 22 of 34 for 287. He was the second most ever yards by. He's a freaking red shirt, but he's still a freshman. They wiped up Oklahoma 41-13 in the Cotton Bowl. He rushed for 229. Now, what's also neat about this is, guess what? Part of my analysis of the night's game with Alabama-Notre Dame, the only team that beat Alabama was Johnny Manziel. Golson, the quarterback for Notre Dame, has wheels. Ha-ha! The analysts haven't thought of that.
Notre Dame needs to be on top of their game in every phase. They need to be able to throw it, run it, and Golston needs to be able to run it.
Well, guess
You're
what?
right about that.
They're going to, and they're going to kick Alabama's. You know what? The Irish are going to roll Tide Alabama.
They're going to roll them. Roll Tide them.
And then this is going to be the song that's going to be playing in Alabama's locker room at the end of the game. Sorry, Alabama. This is what you're going to be listening to. There'll be no We Are the Champions from Queen. This is the Bulldog hitting my stride for the next hour and a half on ClassX Radio. By the way, you do very good. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Here's another fun fact for you. 1 out of 20 people have an extra rib. 1 out of 20. I knew that because my sister-in-law had an extra rib. She was in a car wreck, and I found out from the x-ray that you got an extra rib there.
Which side's it go on?
Hers, I think, was on the right. This is a funny story. Approximately 40% of the U.S. paper currency in circulation at the end of the Civil War was counterfeit. 40%.
Wow.
Wow. Now here's an interesting question, the deep question of the day. American men who say they would marry the same woman, 80%. That's pretty good. Sad if you're in the 20% category. And what about women? I wonder if women would say the same thing. Hell no. I'd give me a better one. The 3 best known Western names in China. This is funny. Jesus Christ, Elvis Presley, and Richard Nixon. The Field that made, this is stuff we missed from the weekend. The Field made popular in 1989 Kevin Costner film was sold for $3.4 million to a group of investors. They're going to probably put a water park in there, restaurants, hotels, condos, golf course. There'll be a cornfield in the middle of it all. Jay Leno asked Arnold Schwarzenegger about Governor Christie if he could whip him into shape, and he said that Christie did not have a weight problem, he had a water retention problem. He's freaking carrying around a whole goddamn cistern. I mean, come on. He's got a cistern around him. You reported this on Friday before William did on his newsletter. The city's delayed the streetcar till 2016. By the way, I understand, Ms. Schlottman, that you are getting involved in city politics. Is that true?
Yes.
Do you have an alliance with any particular group? Like, is there a particular, like, have you thrown in with Foxy Roxy? Have you thrown in with PG? Or PJ or PD or whatever PD his name is?
Our boy Chris Smitherman.
Chris Smitherman. Who have you thrown in with?
Cranley.
Cranley. Would Cranley like to be a guest on our show sometime?
Absolutely.
All right, well, you tell Cranley that he's welcome to come by anytime. You can come with him. Best time to do it would be 8 o'clock.
Tell Cranley's a big hillbilly, will you? From me.
Yeah, you tell him
I
the
like
Slagle
Cran-
is thrown down.
That's right.
I'll do that.
All right, man.
Maybe get him in studio.
Hey, listen, folks. If you haven't gotten your flu shot, go get a flu shot. The flu's extra bad this year. I mean, not only is it bad in numbers, it's a little worse. And somebody had some underlying health issues, died in Campbell County. He had the flu, though. I sent a text message out. My wife and I have gotten our flu shots. None of my kids have. I sent a group text to all our kids. They're going to ignore it. I don't think anybody even responds. Now get this, Hamilton County Sheriff Simon Lease is retiring, right? It was time to go. I knew it was time to go. I'm pushing 79. I don't have the sharpness. According to new Sheriff Jim Neal, Lease said, don't take a step into any part of the Sheriff's Department until it's yours, which he takes over today. Man, that reeks of... I might make a lot of people mad about what I'm about ready to say, because I know Simon Lease is an icon, but I'm telling you right now, he comes off sometimes just... Now he'll be a visiting judge on a case that I have and I'll lose.
What did he told the incoming sheriff?
He told the incoming sheriff there's not they do not step into any of the facilities until they're yours. I mean, why wouldn't you invite him on in to have a transition? Isn't that best for the freaking county? That's sore loser.
Yeah.
Sore loser.
He didn't lose, or was he endorsed the other guy?
His right-hand man, Donovan, lost.
Oh.
But I'm just telling you, that's just bad, man. And I can tell you right now, the Hamilton County Jail has lots of issues. It does. Although those people are always nice to me. Every time I go into the Hamilton County Jail to visit a client, those deputies are so nice. I don't say anything like, oh, you know who I am, but you stick quiet. But it's kind of funny, you'll be getting off the elevator and say, hope you find your prisoner, Bulldog. Or don't get lost, Bulldog. They're always nice to me. How about this? The injured reserve safety of the Bengals, Robert Sands, was arrested by Florence police for allegedly assaulting his wife.
About time, man. It's been a long time since one of the
Bengals,
morons got arrested.
Now, Lance Armstrong is reportedly considering admitting publicly to using performance-enhancing drugs. Hey, Lance, talk to Pete Rose about how that works out.
Yeah.
Stupid. Now, let me tell you why. Whoever his advisors are, they're probably paying him millions of dollars to be his advisors. Here's why you don't admit it. This is my advice to Lance Armstrong. Your friends and your allies are going to be your friends and allies regardless. If you admit that your enemies are your enemies, admitting that will increase your enemies because you lied. It's not going to do you any good anyway. It's a complete stupid thing to do.
I mean, he was already. I mean, he lost everything basically.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's
Yeah.
still loaded.
Yeah.
So.
Jets coach Rex Ryan, this is creepy, has a tattoo of his wife and a Mark Sanchez jersey on his arm, which features her in a pose that resembles Tebowing. That is weird.
That's weird. You know he's got a foot fetish?
Oh my
A
God.
couple of years ago, a video came out. Of
Really?
him, filming his wife's feet. It's that dude is creepy.
Yeah, he is creepy.
And his brother for the Cowboys looks like Bad Santa.
I tell you what.
Bad Santa.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm down on him, man. He let us down.
Yeah. Dallas sucks. No offense.
They do. How about this? Smiling could make you richer, according to the Wall Street Journal. Research has suggested that you're happier while growing up and you make more money in your adult life if you're happy. You know what I say? A happy baby makes a happy toddler makes a happy child makes a happy teenager makes a happy adult, and it's true. I believe that 100%.
I must have been one pissed off everything.
You were probably spanked repeatedly for crying and pooping your pants repeatedly.
Beaten.
Too many diapers, puking and throwing up on everybody, crying for the babysitter. They probably stuck you in a corner and said, Garrett, if you move, we're going to belt you.
Hey, it just goes to show you people, money equals happiness. Judy knows all about this.
Yeah,
if you
we
have
got
money, you're happy. If you don't, you're not.
We have the hoity-toity right here to prove it.
The Indian Hiller.
The
I make
Indian.
fun of Indian Hill. I like to think of them as one of our own. They look down on people like me.
Ladies,
just saying something.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's bow our heads in silence as we announce that a joint session in Congress over the weekend, presided over by Joe Biden, officially counted the Electoral College votes. And although I did all I could, I went up there just like those characters in that Lincoln movie. I went up there with $10 million trying to change Electoral College votes, and I couldn't do it. So Obama is the president. I tried. There's a petition to have Joe Biden on reality television. I want to tell everybody right now, I'd watch that. Joe Biden's a walking, talking disaster. How do you not watch that? He could team up with Honey Boo Boo, Uncle Joe and Honey Boo Boo.
Dude, what do you watch on TV, Judy? You watch reality?
No, I cook.
Good. You watch cooking shows then?
Yeah. I don't watch much TV.
I don't like reality. You watch any reality?
No, I hate reality
Hate
television.
reality. It's living your life through somebody else.
Yeah, I know, it's stupid.
Oh, I hate people.
Yeah. People can be stupid,
People are the worst.
you know? They're not smart like us.
Nope. Look at this. Should we
You
get
got it. Go ahead.
Should we get this picture of Judy up on the wall? Do you think that's...
I have a better one.
Oh, yeah, I say we ought to put her
She
up.
has a better one.
We've said we ought to put a part of our wall for our guests and people.
All our traffic.
Yeah, we'll tear that up. You want the picture alone, or do you want the picture with your son, Matt?
She said she's got a better one. Maybe it's like a...
Really?
It could be like a beach.
Like a bikini picture? Is that what you want to bring in? Or do you want to bring like a... What kind of picture do you say is better?
It's a hot tub picture.
Ooh.
Well, Jeez, oh, Pete.
Hey, just mail that in.
Cheryl Jones, I just want to tell you, you do not need to bring in a picture. You can't get this competition going.
How you do, Cheryl? Bring it in.
We got to, and by the way, if you're listening, we need a traffic reporter for Thursday. This is Judy's last time doing it.
I don't know if I feel comfortable with Cheryl in here.
Oh, it's going to be hilarious.
Okay,
As soon as we start this song, I'm going to tell you the music we're going to play. You're going to crack up. All right, this is my favorite Led Zeppelin song, so I'm going to wake you up this morning. We come back. You get an hour and a half more radio superbity. I'm just hitting my stride. Guess what, folks? The best topics are yet to come on ClassX Radio. This is the Immigrant Song. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. That was my French version of Bulldog. Did a Bulldog. All right. Give us a traffic report there, Judy.
Traffic is heavy, almost all the interstates, 275. Doesn't look good, so be prepared.
Doesn't look good on that interstate out there.
It's that time of day.
Next.
That's it.
All right. You know, I gave up seeing a movie Friday night to watch. What do you tell I'm getting old? To watch the grandkids. And I preferred it to a movie. That little Riley and little Reagan are so cute. And by the way, I think Reagan weighs as much as her older sister. I mean, she's like a brick.
Girls at that age are they're like
Well, Riley wasn't. Riley's always been this little tiny thing, but Reagan's like a brick.
I got a twin niece and nephew, right? They're twins, boy and girl, which is weird. But she is a lot just thicker than he is.
Really?
It's not until later that they kind of,
I want you to know that this might be child abuse. We bought this like bouncy seat thing that you put Reagan in, but Reagan's feet can't hit the floor. But I put her in there and she was kind of tilted to the right. And she was cooing around and watching the football game with me and Parker. But then after a while I said, it might not be good for her neck. So I picked her up, and she was kind of tilted in the bouncy seat, you know. Is that child abuse that you tilted your grandchild? And Riley takes my pens and writes on everything. And I can't yell at her. How come you can't yell at your grandkid like you can your kid?
you're a softie. You know that?
Hey,
You're becoming soft in your old age.
yeah, I got a lot of lice observations to cover. If one more politician says the American people, or we need a national conversation, I'm going off the fiscal cliff on a pogo stick. I mean, Mike, I'm telling you. That's another phrase, fiscal cliff. I mean, the American people, the American people, the American people, the American people. The freaking American people aren't freaking paying attention to you, jackway.
Public. Just call it the public.
Now, here's a funny story that you'll appreciate. The official photographer of Bulldog Nation, Sabrina Kane, sends me an email of a bulldog, lying in bed, and the caption says, "Mondays suck." I said, that's great, let's post it everywhere. So I send it to Sarah, to Chuck, to Chuck's wife, Rebecca, the whole team, all right? Well, Chuck's name on the email list is next to Chuck Frederick's. So I sent that to Chuck Frederick too, but in the caption said, post this everywhere, especially every Monday. So I sent Chuck Frederick an email, and I said, Chuck, that obviously wasn't meant for you. Feel free to post it, though, if you'd like.
What if it's strewn all over the WLW website?
I don't think it's going to be, man. I don't think it's going to be. And if you listen Friday at 8:30, we had the report from Abby Levine from New York at 8:30. Well, guess what? We now have Heidi Heiser will give the report from LA every Friday at 8:45. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, where can you get a pop culture report in the tri-state? Every single day, live from Times Square at 8:30, live from the LA Forum at 8:45, or someplace else in LA. Rodeo Drive. Man.
Where'd you find this person?
She is a client of mine that, due to my national notoriety, hired me to sue the hell out of the dirty.com.
Wow. Well, you're going to put that dirty.com out of business.
Well, guess where she's going on Wednesday?
Where's that?
She's going to be talking to some officials about some things. Can you imagine? This is you know when you're low life lawyers when you do this. You have somebody sign a contingency agreement to get a third of the extortion money.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being that stupid? And you call it a confidentiality negotiation. Can you imagine? I'm not kidding you. I've seen it. A contingency fee agreement that was for nothing else but to commit extortion.
Now, I am glad that if I ever get busted, when I get busted, I can come to you because I have no idea what the hell you just said.
I want you to know that I want you to know that if you are charged with a crime, you're stupid if you don't hire me. I've said that sincerely. I give a dang. I'm going to fight like hell, and I'm going to do something that I think 90% of the lawyers don't do. We're going to look at everything the prosecution sends us, and we're going to conduct our own investigation. I am so busy that I just hired another investigator. I now have 3 investigators. But I'm telling you right now, based on some of these charges that we're like, why'd they charge him? And what happens is I'm convinced is these cops know that these defense attorneys take people's money, pleads them guilty. They don't look at what they've got. I mean, there's a lot of, it's kind of scary. That David Dooley case and his other case that I got in Boone County, it is scary to think, how can you be charged with such a serious crime and he ain't got nothing? This one deputy testified at a preliminary hearing. He said, oh yeah, he confessed. My client confessed, not Dooley, this other case. Well, we watched the freaking interview that he confessed at, right? Not a confession. I think that's a denial. How do you do that? How do you lie under oath and you're a cop? And why do you get so caught up on like convicting somebody that doesn't deserve to be convicted? How do you sleep at night? That's messed up. Yeah. Oh, here's another thing that cracks me about prosecutors, including Joe Deters' office. Sorry, Joe. Prosecutors can't ever bring themselves to just drop something. It's like if they charge them and then they later find out that they're not guilty. Well, plead guilty to something, you know. We got to plead guilty to something. Well, why don't you just drop the case? I got to drop cases sometimes. People, you know, you think you got a good case and it's not, and you just drop it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like a shot at their ego or something. They were wrong.
You got any update on traffic there, Judge Judy?
No updates, just heavy traffic everywhere.
Right.
So expect delays.
How about this, ladies and gentlemen of the American jury? Did you pay your property taxes that were due at the end of the year? Let me tell you something. I am now, and see, I share this with you, and I'm not even ashamed to share it with you. Because I know many of you think that I'm filthy rich. I make pretty good money, and I got good living. Nobody's going to feel sorry for me. But I'm not rich. I mean, I'm not like the people, you know, you think us rich. I'm not that guy. I'm like those people that are like, they're making over $450,000 and they don't like the fact they're being taxed like the real rich people. I'm officially broke. I think I broke into all of my children's penny banks, stole my wife's wallet to come up with the money to pay the property taxes. My God. To pay, that's not enough. You know what? Property taxes ought to be enough for the American taxpayers. We shouldn't have to pay any more than property taxes. Every year you pay them and it's like, and see, I can't bring myself to escrow because then it's less painful. But I'm like, man, they're not going to get my money. And this is true. I know you get a discount if you pay earlier. I refuse to pay until I got to pay. Isn't that weird? I just do not want to give them my money.
You know who I bet's got it worse?
Who?
Judy. She's loaded.
Yeah, she's loaded. Well, she lives in Indian Hill.
More money than God.
How much did that Indian Hill house cost you to have to pay? property tax. How much you paying property tax there, Judy?
Too much.
Too much.
What is, well, how much your house worth? About 2.6, 2.7? Yeah, I think that's about the going market rate in Indian Hill.
I also want to say that I went to a wedding on Saturday. I want to give Oracle status to Johnny Armstrong
I'll allow it.
and Lenan, his new bride. They were married Saturday night. He's my very good friend and brother-in-law. Small little affair down at the Madison. It was cute. It was sweet. It was nice. And my wife and I enjoyed. We ate dinner. We sat at a while with Sarah Jones's mom and dad. Then we also sat with our dentist. The dentist was there too, so we got to sit with the dentist. And his name is Ashley. This is cool. Ashley Mosier. Grew up on Beechwood. Went to Beechwood. Went to Georgetown. He's a great football coach, but he's also a dentist. But he was Holy Cross's offensive coordinator when they won the state championship a couple years ago, and that's where he is now. And he wants a head coaching job. It's hilarious because he's a big guy, and I said, it's a good thing you were a big guy to go through freaking life with the first name Ashley. He said he dated an Ashley in high school, and that was real fun. Ashley,
Freaking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks if you get a girl's name as a first name, and you're a guy. But
Well,
man, all you
at
hillbillies
least-
know each other, don't you?
Stop
Did
it!
she just invite her dentist, or does she know the
No,
dentist
they're
somehow?
friends, they're
Okay,
friends.
it happens to be
Jeez,
your
old
guy.
Pete.
Oh, well.
And I got a major announcement about that I learned at that wedding. We come back. This is big. Until then, this is a great feel-good song. I know it's not a classic rock song, but it'll make you feel good. That's what we're about on Monday. Mouth and McNeil, How Do You Do on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. I can't wait to see the movie Les Miserables. You know, Victor Hugo, who wrote that in like 1886, was exiled from France, actually. I love Victor Hugo. I actually saw a quote from it's the quote that we used in the newsletter. It's one of those rare quotes. I got like 10 of them that it moves me so much I frame it. And that quote is, no matter, oh gosh, I'm going to save it for tomorrow because I want to screw it up. It's so awesome. Don't want to screw it up. What's going on out there in traffic, Judy?
There's the right shoulder. It's blocked on I-75 southbound at Town Street, exit 8. There's an accident on Clifton Avenue at West McMillan. And disabled vehicle on West North Bend Road at Benning.
She's getting better. All right, folks. Could I have a drum roll? Do we have the drum roll in the bit? You know, we got some kind of a... There we go. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, I learned on Saturday night at this wedding that the head football coach position has opened up at the Covington Homes Bulldogs. Do you believe it? The Covington Homes Bulldogs. I think it's destiny, Garrett. Would you be on my staff?
Absolutely.
Now, I want to tell you something. In all seriousness,
Run those kids.
I want to promote this Ashley Mosier, because he knows what he's doing, to the position. I mean, I got to do all I can to get him hired as the Homes. So if any of you all got a connection to the Homes Bulldogs, you know, with the Covington Board of Education, Homes, Schlomer, I'll call my buddy Doug Schlomer. But I'm telling you, this guy would be a great coach, and then I could maybe be an assistant coach. Come on.
You gotta sponsor them.
I would sponsor. I need to be involved in high school football, and that is Homes Bulldogs.
That's your way in.
Oh, the opening.
What would you have them run out to? Run out on the field a little
Well, you
hey,
gotta
Bulldog?
go with Thunderstruck, you know, what the heck. But I'd get them all. I was rehearsing, I'm not kidding, he was impressed. I was rehearsing some of the 2 and 3 minute speeches that I would give. One was on Alexander the Great, one was on Grant. Mosier loved them. These kids would go through walls.
You'd give a good pregame speech.
Well, let me tell you about this too. The speed that you'd be coaching. Tops on that side of the river, man.
Down in Kentucky?
Oh my goodness. Holmes, you got the speed, baby.
Those kids?
Yep, speed. And you know what they play? They play Covington Catholic and Holmes every year. I mean, Covington Catholic and Highlands every year. So how awesome is that to get pumped up to say, let's build a program and go beat the hell out of the Fort Thomas rich boys
It's time to dethrone High.
and the Park Hills rich boys. I don't have any problems with any of you guys who go to school. I'm just having fun here, okay? I am kind of for the underdog. Or the Bulldogs! I'm destined to be the assistant coach. You know what? I'm not kidding you.
I'll place a few calls.
I wrote a letter.
Yeah.
I wrote a letter, true story, to the coach that's not there anymore, the athletic director and principal, and they didn't respond. I wrote a letter and I said, hey, one of your former coaches, who will name nameless, told me one of his biggest problems there was just there was always issues with kids, because, it's inner city school. And I said, I will volunteer at no pay to be an assistant coach in charge of helping kids that got problems and issues and families, and let me do that. And all I want to do is I'll be on the sidelines during games because I ain't got time to go to practice. I got too big of a long, I don't have time.
Practice.
But yeah, I would practice. But they didn't even respond. They didn't even say thank you. And I pointed out, hey, my nickname's the Bulldog. I said, I think this is a good match. I can help you guys.
Nothing?
They didn't even respond.
Yeah. You want me to go throw a Molotov cocktail through?
Well, let's jackwagon the former coaching staff. There we go.
What, do they all get canned?
I don't know what happened to it, but all I'm saying is the Bulldog would be very grateful if any of you all have good enough connections at homes to help Ashley Mosier, or he's got an assistant coach, Felix Moore, I think, and he says, Eric, we don't care who's the head coach. He goes, we'll be there. God, I can only hope. I can't stop thinking about it.
What would you coach? Wide receivers?
No, I wouldn't coach anything. I'd
Linebacker?
just be like a special assistant to whatever. If there's some kid that has some problem with his grades, I could help, to take his test for him. I'm just joking! But anyway, those kind of things.
Maybe the water boy. I could do the water.
My claim to fame is I was the quarterback. This is the only time I've ever coached football. This is funny. The 8th grade, I was the quarterback coach to Chad Lawrence, who was the Inquirer North Kentucky Player of the Year. I mean, he's brilliant. God love him, his shoulder shot. He's playing wide receiver at Thomas More now. But he led Simon Kenton to a state finals as a sophomore his first year, some regional final. I mean, he's just a great kid. Well, I got him to come out to play quarterback. So Coach Roosh was so nice to me. Let's be quarterback coach. I said, okay. So here's what I told Chad Lawrence was a really good quarterback. Here's the only thing I ever did say to him. First of all, the coach, they did wing tee or whatever. The coach would have him do these special exercises, and when the coach wasn't looking, I'd say, nah, Chad, just do it how you want. You're not going to do that in the game anyway. And the other thing that I always told Chad was, if they're not open, run it. that was my.
Where's he at now?
Thomas More. If they're not open, run it. I'll tell you who reminded me of Chad Lawrence was that Johnny Marcel or whatever from Texas A&M. I mean, he's only 6 foot. I mean, Chad was 6 foot, and he ran like that guy did. I mean, that's who I felt like I was watching. And it's kind of a shame that if you're only 6 foot and you're a winner and you're a great athlete.
Not big enough.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Well, listen, I'm going to keep you anonymous. You just send me a text so you know. Do what you can to help me. Oh, my gosh. We got a connection. See, it pays.
What happened? We know somebody at home?
Yes, we got a big connection.
The AD?
But a good
Is that
connection.
the gym teacher?
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to blow it.
Call it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury, when we come back, I'm going to have a little history with you, and I'm also going to cover the economic situation in this country. And also got some analysis of the big game tonight. This is on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. I came up with a funny analogy. I worked so much this weekend. I worked on Friday, I worked all day Saturday, I worked Sunday. I just worked my tail off. And rather than watch all the football games, but I'm not going to watch, Indianapolis versus Ravens. Who cares? I watched history documentaries. I watched a ton of them. Let me see, I watched Wild Bill Hickok, Calamity Jane, Lewis and Clark. I watched Yogi Berra. That was a good one. all about Yogi. I watched an ancient history. I mean, I just watched all kinds of documentaries. And I watched the French Revolution. I own all these and I've seen them all before, and I'm not smart enough to retain it without refreshing my memory. And I'm watching the French Revolution. And it's a History Channel. They did a great job with it. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm not kidding. You know, you can't make Hitler comparisons because of God, you can't Hitler. But nobody ever makes Louis XVI comparisons. And I'm watching this French Revolution and the build up, you know, what Louis XVI, now of course Barack Obama came from, you know, modest roots, he wasn't a king. But it cracked me up how Louis XVI and Maria Antoinette were like living it high on the hog and just totally disconnected with the average Joe. And I thought to myself, well, there's some similarities and there's some differences. For example, Barack Obama decided, we're not going to ignore the masses, we're going to buy them. Extending unemployment benefits for another year, et cetera, et cetera. But there's one thing that I thought was very similar. Living high on the hog. I mean, the vacationing, all this stuff. And then they say, well, we got to look out for the middle class. We got to look out for the little guy, da-da-da. Everybody pay. And I'm going to illustrate here in a second why that's a bunch of baloney. It's incredible. Now, here we go. Now, this is on my newsletter, and it'll be posted on Facebook. But I just want to share this with you. It's so simple. I just want to sum things up in a simple form. And Chuck Holbrook sent me the tax bill that was passed, over 100 pages, and I didn't get a chance to read it before today, but I'm going to read it tonight. So tomorrow, I'm going to have fun with you, making fun of everything that's in this bill. But this bill raises $620 billion over 10 years. That is $62 billion a year. All right? This taxing those 450 folks. Everybody knows the annual spending in this country has been $3.4 trillion. When in doubt, just know that it's over $3 trillion. The deficit has been $1.3 trillion. When in doubt, just think of $1 million. So that's easy for remember. Just think. We get $3 trillion, we're spending $3 trillion, and our deficit is $1 trillion. How many people go 33% deficit spending? Besides me. Obama said we need revenue to close this gap. You've seen him on those. We got to have revenue to close this gap. Well, guess what? He got $62 billion to close a $1.3 trillion problem. It's comical. Now remember the reason why he does this. He does this because he knows 51% of the country does not care. Does not care. Now, the bill increasing actually increased spending $4 trillion over 10 years. And remember what I told you before. Boehner said to Private one-on-one, he said, we don't have a spending problem. No, we just got $16.4 trillion in debt. Now, remember what also Obama said? No taxes on the middle class. No taxes on the middle class. Well, if you make $50,000 to $75,000, you feel middle classy? Your taxes just went up $822 a year from the payroll tax. Obama said no deals. Everyone pay their fair share. And of course we know there's over 2,000 waivers on Obamacare. Fair? 430 million tax breaks for Hollywood. Fair? 70 million tax break for NASCAR. Do they need it? 59 million for algae, green energy. Top personal income tax rate's going to go up 35 to 41%. Estate tax 35 to 40. Capital gains 15 to 23.8. Dividend tax 15 to 23.8. Medical device tax 0 to 2.3. Payroll tax 10.4 to 12.4. And Obamacare payroll tax surcharge 0 to 0.9%. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, do you or anyone else think all of that is going to improve our economy, create jobs, etc., etc. I've coined a new phrase. I thought of this because after I reported all this gobbledygook, I said 51% of America is stupid and selfish, as opposed to witty and wise, the Bulldog Nation gold standard. Stupid and selfish. And Obama knows that they can just keep buying them. Now, you're saying to yourself, what can we do? And once again, the Bulldog's got to step up to the plate because none of the national talk show hosts on Fox News and all the radio shows, they're unable to come up with a solution to how do we turn back this 51%? What's the argument, so forth and so on. And of course, I watch these people like Bill Bennett. Well, the American people, Bill Bennett, Jack Wagon, Bill Bennett up. You know what, Bill Bennett, you might know what a virtue is, but your political analysis sucks. First off, it may not be reversible. We might be stuck with this coalition forever, 51%. But I did think of one argument to make. And you've heard me make this argument before, but nobody's talking about this argument now. Here's what we got to do. And they say that the way the Republicans took the South back in the 60s and started turning the Democratic South into Republicans in the 80s was they basically just sold conservative principles like one vote at a time. I guess that some of these people that are getting all this largesse from our government, some of them, not many, but maybe enough to tip it back to 51%, could be persuaded by this argument. Man, if you don't support stepping on the brakes and getting off the gas and reversing course with our debt, we're going to be bankrupt. And that check you get, it's not going to come at all. Remember my golden goose. Don't kill the golden goose. The golden goose is the American economy, the third pillar of our country, capitalism. If they kill the golden goose, they won't be getting any money. Right? Right. So anyway, there you have it. Isn't that a good argument to make? You guys say, hey, you know, if we go bankrupt, you're not going to get your Medicare check, your Social Security check, your prescription drug, because we don't have enough money to pay it. We come back and analyze the default thing. Now hold on a second before you start playing this song. I got a story to tell about this song. It's a good dedication, a good song to dedicate to somebody. Who should we dedicate this song to? Let me think about this. It'd be a good person. To you?
Probably me.
All right.
Or Judy.
No, I can't dedicate. It's got to. Hold on a second. Let me see. Who can I dedicate this song? I'm trying to think of somebody in my office. Mark Epley. Mark Epley does my Ohio domestics. Okay, and he's not very skinny. Sorry, Mark. And
Skinny? Not skinny?
no,
The fat ass?
yeah, like you. So apparently, Epley was caught on videotape in the shower singing this song while he lathered himself. And it's apparently a YouTube. If you punch in YouTube, Mark Epley shower, you're going to see Mark Epley, who probably goes 310, in the shower lathering himself up to this song on ClassX Radio. The Bulldog on ClassX Radio. What's going on out there in traffic?
On Columbia Parkway, the right lane is blocked westbound, west of Delta. There's an accident on River Road, east of Fairbanks Avenue. There's an accident on Glenway Avenue at Quebec and Seton Avenue.
All right.
Judy's getting real good. I think you kind of pulled the trigger too early, saying she was not a good traffic reporter. I think she's the best one we've ever had.
I totally disagree with you.
Judy, I think you're doing a fine job.
Thanks.
I love people from Indian Hill. I love you.
Denise was probably the best we ever had, but she said too many, for lack of a better word, radioisms, trafficisms, which was irritating. Sarah Jones was a little soft-spoken. Could have been a little more loud. You and I totally suck. You're better than me
Yeah.
now.
Oh, we were awful.
We were awful. That's why we came up with this idea.
I mean, I don't strive to be a traffic reporter like One of the people that we had in here doing traffic was like her life's work to do traffic.
Be nice.
So that was, you know.
Hey, this weekend is the Cavalcade of Autos. You gonna go down to the auto show, man?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, me neither. It's not my kind of thing. I didn't realize I got an ad in there. I thought I told them to cancel that. I got an ad in that hoity-toity magazine. Maybe there'll be some like doctor, lawyer, or businessman who wants to fire his own lawyer and hire a real lawyer.
You need a good sex
It
scandal
doesn't bill him
case.
like $600.
You haven't had one of those in a couple weeks.
Sarah Jones trial goes to trialdirty.com January 22nd.
I'm gonna show
By
up.
the way, January 22nd, you can come watch me in action. Tickets are free.
To what?
Sarah Jones
Oh,
trial.
case. Yeah, I'm coming. Can I sit on the bench if I wear a suit?
You sit in a suit, you can sit next to the table next to me.
I'm gonna wear my cheapest suit.
My next please don't, Judge Bertelsmann will sanction you. My next comedy show,
Kick his ass.
Witty and Wise Tour, is back February 2nd, Groundhog Day. 9 p.m. at the Thompson House, which is formerly the Southgate House. And folks, they asked me. So buy your tickets. I got some great material, great material. when I was driving to West Virginia and back, I actually, every chance, I just had some great ideas come to me. Well, just some good stuff. Some legal comedy, which I think is going to be good. Good. You know what I mean? Good. As opposed to bad. I gotta tell you about these posters in here too, since they're messing with our posters. I thought of another poster we gotta get. We have to get a Jesus poster. I'm being serious. Although I got this picture at home of these two trees that fell, and it made a cross. I mean, it's an awesome picture. I bought it at Print the Fair. We gotta bring that in. I thought about that. We need to have
Jesus H?
We need to have Jesus in here with all of our other icons.
Let's get a massive
Just think how
crucifix.
proud Father Dan would be with us
Damn.
if we had Jesus. Maybe we could have somebody who's an artist like paint the Last Supper on one of the walls.
Yeah,
Across from our, now that would be kind of funny, wouldn't it? Or bad. I guess the Last Supper across from Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, I don't know if God would approve. We need to get a picture of my mom up here.
Did you ever find that song?
Yeah. So
Hey, I gotta ask you this. Was your mother?
Judy, do you need to take that call?
Was your mother? Yeah. Are you too busy doing traffic that you have to
This
take?
should be a client, Judy. Get it.
I want to let you know, Judy, as you noticed by being in this studio, I never touch my phone. I turn it off for 3 hours. I don't text. I don't call. I don't do anything with my phone for 3 hours while I do the show. I'm focused on the show.
Clients can wait. You just lost a $4.8 million sale.
Jeez,
How do you feel,
okay.
Judy? You got that much?
I recognize the number.
You know?
You got that much expendable income that you can just throw away billion-dollar sales, homes?
It wasn't.
That person wanted to buy
Ah, you knew it wasn't that, huh?
the Williams estate. Who was it?
Mm.
It wasn't a number that was plugged into her phone, so she knew the digits,
She knew the digits.
but not the what. What were you going to ask about my mom?
Wait, is she hot?
Well, absolutely, my mom's hot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she gave birth to me. I obviously got the looks. By the way, my dad, it's his birthday. I got Bush Big John.
Well, happy birthday. Give him Oracle
Give him Oracle
status.
status. Big John Sable House out there. Probably passed out drunk still. Probably not even listening.
It could be.
Yeah, he's got to work today. What a horrible Monday. You got to have your birthday on a Monday. I'm sure he partied this weekend.
Yeah. He probably did. What do you do? How old is he?
He is
You're allowed to say a man's age, not a woman's age.
58?
58?
Something like that. That's a good skit because when he turned 50, you remember that, I think it was Sherry O'Terry did 50 years old on SNL? And she would like kick and it was real flamboyant, it was funny.
Our concrete jungle gal, Abby Levine, took apart the director of This Is 40, and she just turned 40, and she thought it was too whiny and everything else. And I liked the movie, and I said, you know what? I commented on her blog post. I said, I'm 49, about ready to do 50. Who's going to do This Is 50?
This is 50.
I've already done the 40 thing. That's history, baby.
Hey, why don't we take a little guy's trip on your 50th birthday?
Here, let's describe the decades. This will be fun, okay? I'll go first to set the pace. Your first 10 years, you're a mama's boy. Start to become a daddy's boy. Your next decade, become more of a daddy's boy. But you're teenagers, you have no freaking brain. Your 20s, you still don't have a freaking brain, but you start thinking about how you could do something, you know what I mean? The decade of selfishness and grandeur and all that, 30s. The people who are in their 30s, because I remember what I was like in my 30s. The people who are in their 30s think they're going to conquer the world, they're going to do all of this stuff. All they're worried about the size of their house, the money they're making, all of that stuff. All right. The 40s, you start sitting there thinking to yourself, am I going to go in this direction, or am I going to go up further? Where am I? And let me tell you a secret. When you're 49, you don't give a damn.
That's when it starts to go down.
Because when you're 49, you realize the die is cast, okay? I'm either going to be that. But you know what? Unlike when you're in your 30s, when you couldn't accept it, you can accept it. Judy, have I described the decades properly?
You have for a man.
Well, Judy hasn't hit her 40s yet. What are you, 37?
Okay, what do the girls do? What's the girls?
Well, you know, you're daddy's girl, and then you're daddy's girl,
Yep.
and then the next decade you're still daddy's girl.
The 30s, you just stay daddy's girl the whole way?
Absolutely.
Nah, I don't think so.
No way.
I think girls,
Would be
I think women. You know, guys at their prime at 18, you all at 28, which is a terrible freaking thing. You got a decade difference of hitting the prime. No wonder there's divorces.
Yeah. Girls just need to marry 10 years younger.
That's the big vogue thing. Oh, and everybody's picking on...
Perfect for you. You're about 35.
And everybody's picking on Sarah Jones. You're right.
Maybe she has it right.
Women should be marrying guys 10 years younger than them.
Sarah had it all right before any of us knew.
I married an older woman by 8 months.
I always think of it as if you're in the same grade. If you would have been in the same grade, then you're the same age.
How come guys, though, generally date younger girls because, see, we're not as mature? You remember in high school, a lot of guys dated the girls that are a year behind them or 2 years. Like you're a senior, you go, look at that hot sophomore.
Because I think girls like to date up.
Of course, in Latin school, we didn't have any hot sophomores.
Wait, in Latin school all boys?
Well, they got girls now, but when I was there, it was all boys. There was no hot sophomores. Now, what's our song, dude?
That's a good question. Oh, let's do a little, Kung
Fu Fighting by Carl Douglas. That's always good. He's got his Notre Dame windbreaker there on. Go Irish!
Irish!
We do the Irish. We ought to do on sports in Irish. Oh.
We should have gotten a good Irish.
We'll dedicate this to Dan, the Karate Man, on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio, aka Mad Dog. All right, if you'd like to do our traffic, male or female, all you do is read it from a laptop. It's that easy. Some people do it better than others. Cheryl Jones, Sarah Jones's mom's going to be in here tomorrow. Tina Morawski, my Polish friend, will be in here the next day.
I bet Cheryl
will be back Friday, maybe.
Sucks at traffic.
She was a principal. She is not. She's going to show that principals obviously can read a screen better than realtors usually can, I think.
Judy has done a fabulous... Where does Cheryl live? What part of town does she live in?
Not Indian Hill like hoity-toity here.
See, Judy's much better than her.
You don't think I know? Okay. Willie doesn't even live in Indian Hill. He lives on Sycamore Township outside of Indian Hill. I think you're the only person I know personally that lives in Indian Hill.
You know Willie? Judy?
Yes.
Can you do traffic for us, please, instead of delaying the traffic report? There's people out there on the road that need to know where the hell to go.
I updated
Go ahead.
you. I updated you. I have nothing new.
There's nothing new. Wow. Repeat it then. Tell us what's new. Or tell us what was old, because people only listen to the radio 18 minutes.
There's an accident on Cary Avenue at West North Bend Road. In Miamisburg, there is a vehicle fire reported on the shoulder of I-75 northbound at Austin Boulevard.
Very good. You read that very well. What did you get in reading in grade school? Because I want you to know that when I was a young man in Patsy Wagner's class at Crittenden Elementary, I read in the highest reading group. And then when I was in second grade, St. Cecilia, in Sister Consuela's class, I had to go across to the third grade and get in Mr. Mucci's. His guy name was Mr. Mucci. He got in a fight once with Sister David Marie, and he slammed the door. It was wild. Whatever happened to old Mr. Mucci?
Right,
He was replaced by Miss Desmond. And this was like in the 70s, like 71, 72. She wore like Anne Margaret. By the way, we got to write that down. We don't have Anne Margaret on our wall. That's an outrage. So anyway, see how I can go from A to B? I can talk about Lincoln here in a second. Anyway, bottom line is, and then in the fourth grade, I had Miss Goulet. Sorry, Miss Goulet. God, I hope you're not listening.
Goulet.
Had the worst breath. God, she. And then in the fifth and sixth grade, I had Sister Helen, who I'm not kidding you, I almost smacked her. I didn't swing at her, but I almost smacked her because she grabbed Manny Piercefield by the ear because he was having a hard time with a multiplication table. And I felt bad for the guy. He was my buddy. And I felt like saying, you leave his ear alone. I did, and I was just a freaking sixth grader, so I kept my mouth shut. But I wanted to. And I made her cry just because I was like the star pupil. When they said, you had to like write an essay at the end of sixth grade of your favorite part of the year. I wrote a one-word answer. Come on, I mean, I was a sixth grader. I wrote recess. And she apparently cried, and my mom and dad called my mom and dad, and my mom and dad told me all about it, that she was disappointed that her star pupil would only write recess as what he enjoyed. I mean, come on, what did she expect me to do, right? Like Victor Hugo?
Yeah, you're in sixth freaking grade, obviously. Well, for me it was lunch, but you know, you loved that
Short,
time
brief. Sister Helen, God bless her.
Oh, I hated school.
And the principal in the school is Sister David Marie. She's a Sister of Divine Providence. I'm not kidding you. When I was in the second grade, I kind of had a crush on her.
A nun?
Yeah, she was cute. She was a young nun. She was cute.
Think she's still a nun?
Yeah, she is still a nun. She still comes to some family functions. I actually confessed that to her once at one of my brother's weddings, I think. Sister, I just want to confess to you that I had a crush on you. I remember she took her shoes off in the second grade from the desk, and Danny Cook called her pickle toes. That offended me. I said, do not dishonor her by calling her pickle toes.
Do not call Sister Mary Catherine.
Married Sister David Marie.
David Marie, whatever. Pickle
Did you ever consider the convent, Judy? No, never mind.
You know, I did.
I considered the priesthood.
I considered going
You know what
to
the
seminary.
bishop told me? I swear to God, the bishop told me, he said, stick with what you're doing.
Get out of my office.
Can you imagine me as a priest?
No, I could not.
No.
I could.
Horrible
You know
job.
what?
I don't make any money.
I can't imagine myself as a priest, but I can imagine myself as the Pope.
You should get a Pope mobile.
Can you imagine being the Pope? You know there's more Catholics than any other religion, and the Pope, I mean, you cover all the countries. I mean, you got Catholics in every country. You could argue that the Pope is the most powerful person on the earth, not the president, of course. I admit that the Swiss Guard isn't going to take on nuclear bombs, but still, you used to be able to buy yourself a cardinalship. That's what Borges did.
You could be just...
Hey, Dad, can you buy me a cardinal? I want to be a cardinal. Pope Bulldog. Now, what could be my name? Pope John, Eric. Oh, by the way, you know the Catholics, I ought to...
Eric Charles Deters is a pretty
Well, Eric,
good Pope name.
I always like to joke, Eric means king and Charles means strong, so I'm strong king. But you know what? I get shafted. And there's St. Charles Borromeo, there's a bunch of... I'm not kidding. When my little brother, Richard, had his first communion, he was named after Father Hansis and Bishop Ackerman. So, I mean, like he was... My mom figured, this guy's going to be a priest. Sorry, Mom, Richard didn't become a priest. But, I mean, she figured, you name him after a priest and a bishop, he's going to be a priest. Bishop Ackerman bought him a 3-volume set of the books about the saints. 3-volume set. And I'm not kidding you. I read that entire set out loud to Richard. Like every night we covered some saints. So I'm an expert on the old saints, man. So guess who does not have a saint in the Catholic Church? It's an outrage. I got a statue on my desk. And he was like a prince And they said, well, he's kind of like a saint, but he never got the proper respect. Eric of Norway. Prince Eric of Norway. But he's not a saint. There's no Saint Eric in the Catholic Church. Now, I don't want to hear anybody make any comments about why. But seriously, there's not a Saint Eric.
Is there a St. Garrett?
I could be the first Saint Eric. See, to become a saint, you have to have some, first you have to be edified, but then you have to have some miracles happen. You got to have 3 miracles happen for people praying to you. And that doesn't include sports.
The Packers will win on Sunday.
Can you imagine though? I'd be a good pope. I'd be a good bishop, and I'd be a good priest.
What kind of
I'd be a
miracles
cool
do
priest.
you think
I can
so?
tell you right now, I'm always jealous. I tell Father Dan this, and I told Randy this, and I told Father Mario, the pastor at St. Cecilia, this. I'm jealous of priests and pastors. They get to give a sermon, like a closing argument, every week. And, you know, when you say Mass every day, and I don't get to give a closing argument. There was an article in the New York Times about this.
You got a microphone.
Yeah, I know. This lawyer in New York, and he said he'd like to die giving a closing argument. I thought that'd be a cool way to go. Like maybe in my closing argument, the Sarah Jones case in Dirty.com, I collapse after I said the most poetic, prose I've ever said. I collapse and die, and out of sympathy, they award her $20 million. Would that be cool?
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'm going to take your wallet. If I'm around you when you die, I'm going to take your wallet.
You can have it, buddy.
And probably your watch and anything else.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, American jury, I heard this on the way in the other day, and I said we got to play the song. We come back, you got 15 minutes of superbity.
Sports.
Sports, we're going to do sports. Everybody plays the fool, especially if you're the Bengals on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. If you would like to replace Jake as the producer and finding clips and everything, email me at eric@ericdeters.com. He's a no-call, no-show today, no password. You know his family's probably listening. We're just joking around. People take this stuff too serious. Give us a quick traffic report.
There's a new accident on Spring Grove Avenue, north of Western Hills Viaduct.
Man, my God. By the way, William, I almost fired him. You weren't around. You know the rule that if only one of us is around, we got to make the decision where we try to channel what the other console would do.
Yeah.
William said he needed a day off, Garrett, and he didn't want to do the Sunday newsletter, so he talked me into not doing the newsletter on Sunday, and there was a backlash, and I had to reverse the decision immediately and say, like Bulldog Nation sleeps on Sunday.
Yeah.
So William, being a lazy ass, made me make a bad decision, which I reversed.
My God, William.
It's just
Did you make
unbelievable.
a pansy ass?
And then the other thing is, I didn't realize it, but apparently, you go to the Bulldog Nation newsletter.
By the way, that's exactly what I would have done. So
Thank you. You don't go there to check out a recipe. Somebody gave William the idea to put recipes. And anyway, it's a bad idea. Now, let's analyze. We haven't really spoke a whole lot about the Bengals game. The Bengals, big disappointment, but let me just share something
You're
with you.
surprised. I told you that was going to happen.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't have an offense.
They don't have an offense. But I want to just say this. Opening drive. They stop the Texans, they get the ball. Opening drive. These little things just drive me nuts. The second down. The ball hits Gresham, or whatever the hell, right in the hands. It would have been a first down. He drops it. 3 and out. And it's like those little things that can just freaking change the game.
Yep.
And then the fact that they couldn't, you get the ball with 6 minutes left, go down, winning touchdown, game over, and you don't accomplish that. So what's your analysis of the Bengals going into next year, the game, their season? I think they did better. They won more games and all. And I also think that they're poised because they're younger than the Steelers and the Ravens. But I don't know, man.
They do have a lot of good things going for them, but
Will Dalton be a Romo?
Could be. Because without AJ Green, they're nothing. They need another wide receiver.
What's that where you say you don't go with AJ Green in the first? What? You're a Pro Bowl receiver, you're not going to throw a pass?
Right.
And what difference does it matter what quarter you score? You score as much as you can when you can.
Exactly.
We're gonna
look at what
Jeez.
Houston did. Okay, we're going to key on AJ Green, not let him get in, and they won't score, and that's
And then
exactly
Grisham,
what freaking
and then
happened.
Gresham is open. Keep saying Grisham like John Grisham. Gresham is open and he doesn't catch the pass.
Yeah, Gresham's a little.
Jeez,
He's a little soft for a
Is he?
tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he was the best tight end the year they took him.
Do you know who's got the best tight end?
They take him
My Cowboys, baby. Jason Witten gets his hood knocked off and he keeps running.
Wrong. Gronkowski from the Patriots is a beast.
Witten.
Well, first of all, Witten, he's tough. I like Witten a lot, but he's how many
He's
years
a
do you
blue
think he'll
collar.
play?
He's 32. I think he'll play another 16.
16 more seasons.
He'll quit at 48.
Oldest tight end ever. Jeez.
You know, at 49, I know I could still play.
I do like.
I'm not kidding you. With the television thing going on, I am contemplating the following: another MMA fight, and coming out of retirement to go back to my full contact football quarterbackship. Find me some good fast 20. Hey, if there's a whole if you got a really, really, really talented flag football team, and you got good offensive, you got good blockers, and you got great speed, and you're really good, but you're broke, I'm going to do the same thing that I did when I first started doing this many years ago. I agreed to buy the shirts if they let me quarterback.
We couldn't play
And it
on
worked.
the same team.
So if you want like free jerseys and me to pay the league fee, email me at eric@ericdeters.com and I'll take care of that for you.
we couldn't play on the
I'm
same
a great
team.
quarterback. I was the only quarterback that did audibles at the line of scrimmage. I never did understand why no other team did that.
You guys had plays?
We had plays, but I also called audible. You know, you walk up to the line of scrimmage and somebody's like 10 yards off of your guy. Well, you just say something that's there that they know is them. Like I would say, okay, anything I say it's a car is you. Anything I say a plant is you. Any kind of a flower is you. And then I had colors for pump fakes. And then I had numbers for streaks. So I could go up the line, and sometimes it'd be like their girlfriend. Like Lee Turner's wife was named Amy. I'd get up there and I'd say, Amy. And then I'd say something else that didn't make any difference. He knew I was going to throw the ball to him right off the line. So then if I go up and I say, let's say it was a car, Chevrolet 4. He knows.
Didn't mean anything.
Yeah, it did. It meant for him to streak. And then a color was a pump fake. So if I said, Chevrolet blue, he knows to go 10 yards, pump fake, take off. And when you come up to the line, people wonder why quarterbacks call audibles. The reason why, man, you come up to that line of scrimmage and you see something, it's nice. Now, in the NFL, it's harder because you get motions more, you know. And some quarterbacks make the wrong call, but I love calling the audible.
Could you imagine how freaking intricate an NFL, even a college offense is?
Right.
I mean, the amount of plays.
But you know how stupid that is? You know, Highlands apparently they run 8 plays this way, that way, up the middle. And defense, I heard about the Bengals defense, what Zimmer did, and you hear about these other defenses, and you hear about Notre Dame's defense. They said, all we did was simplify it. If there's one part of this is my opinion, offense and defense should both be simple. The more complicated you're thinking instead of reacting, especially on defense. Line up, baby. You can have a couple coverages. Cover 2, everybody knows that. Cover 2, cover 3, base coverage, man-to-man, you know, some light zone. I mean, don't make it complicated. I love when they say, ooh, these guys act like they know what they're doing. Ooh, hit the A gap. Ooh, got to stay in your gap, the A gap, B gap. When that freaking ball's high, there's no gaps. I mean, like, you know, the gaps don't stay. Well, here's the A gap. Yeah. See, I could coach football. Holmes Bulldogs opening up their head coach. God, I hope.
Undefeated first
Ashley
season
Mosier.
with the Bulldog.
Oh, I'd win state. We would beat Highlands. You know what? We wouldn't beat Highlands the first year. We played them. We beat them the second. I would love it. I might just quit everything to be a high school football coach. I'm just teasing clients. I don't want to scare my clients. I'm just joking. I wouldn't do that to you.
Just kidding, Spry.
Just kidding, Spry. Well, let's hope Cheryl Jones comes in and does good traffic tomorrow. Judy, in all seriousness, thank you for coming and doing it. You are a Hey, you were sweet to come in and do it, and thank you.
Yes.
And we got Cheryl Jones tomorrow, Tina Morawski on Wednesday. We need somebody for Thursday. Do I have any takers to come in and try out for traffic? I know Garrett wishes that you would be younger. My wife wishes you would be a man. Is there like an 80-year-old geezer out there with a good voice that would like to do traffic? That's what my wife's wanting. And maybe we'll have Sarah Jones do Friday.
Yeah, get Sarah back in here.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury this Monday got off to a bad start because Jake dropped the ball. That's right, Jake. It's your fault.
That's right.
But we recovered.
I threw you square under the bus, Jake.
And when
Not a problem, buddy.
When we come back tomorrow, we'll have Radio Superbity. I love you, Bulldog Nation. Every dog has their day. I hope today is yours.
Happy birthday, Dad.
We dedicate this to Dad.